So starting with a quadratic function given in standard form, if we are to convert it into vertex form, if we are to convert it into something like this, we need to start with the middle term. This middle term will help us to decide the perfect square we need inside the bracket for your perfect square. So similar to the previous example, we saw how this middle term is useful to determine your perfect square. We will look at this middle term divided by 2, and that's the number we need to create the perfect square in the previous example. So once again, going back to this, if I have a 14 in the middle, dividing this number by 2, or 7, that's the number we need to create the perfect square at the end. But looking at this question, we don't have a perfect square here. We want this number to be 36, as you are to square it. So if we don't have a 36 for now, let me just add this number and leave out the 20. So for now, here is the original question, x squared plus 12x plus 20. And once again, since the plus 20 is not a perfect square, we don't really need it for now. But knowing how we are having a 12 in the middle, as I divide it by 2 and square the number, these three terms will now form a perfect square of x plus 6. But the problem with this method is that you can't just add this extra term to your equation. You need to offset it. And in order to do it, I'm going to subtract 6 squared at the end. So in this case, 20 minus 36 will give us minus 16. And that means I'm now having a quadratic function in vertex form with its vertex at -6, -16. You can try to expand these expressions here, and hopefully, without any careless mistake, you should be able to come up with these three terms here. So let me just quickly show you the check work. Expanding the perfect square, I have x plus 6, x plus 6, and I'm going to subtract the 16 at a later time. Following bad math, we have to do the multiplication first, which involves FOIL. So first outside, inside, and last. Don't forget the minus 16 at the end. And as you group the like terms together, we will end up with the same three terms in the question here. So that means if I'm to complete the perfect square, start with the middle term, divide by 2, and that's the term you need to square to create your perfect square. Here is our perfect square. And as you add this extra term to it, we need to do the offset. And that will give us the y coordinate for your vertex.